there in the background.
Hey, we're excited about today. We're gonna be talking about EINs. What are they? Why you need them, where you get them, all that information Jaron has for you. I am gonna be his assistant, walking you through the directions that he's given.
Exactly. So a few things, as Shayna just mentioned, we're going to talk about what is an EIN. Pretty simple there. Do I need an EIN? Who specifically needs an EIN? So we'll get deep into that. I'm not going to give you any secrets on that right now, but and the benefits of an EIN, even if you are not required to get one. And last but not least, we're going to talk about how to apply for an EIN. It is very simple. It's many steps, but it should take you less than 10 minutes to apply for an EIN. So let's get rolling. So the first thing, what is an EIN? So an EIN stands for Employer Identification Number, also known as a federal tax ID number. And it's used to identify a business entity. So it is similar to a social, definitely not a social security number, but it is a unique 9-digit number that identifies your specific business for tax purposes. Again, like I said, it's not a social security number, but it is meant for business related items, and it is separates your business from other personal entities. So it is almost vital that you get an EIN number because you don't want to commingle the two, meaning your personal and your business entity. So that in a nutshell is what an EIN number is, an employer identification number. So we're gonna go a little deeper as far as EINs are concerned. So the next thing I do want to discuss is, do I need an EIN? It's not plot twist, but I'm gonna tell you the climax. I'm not sure, I can't think of what I'm trying to say, but you do need an EIN for sure. Everybody doesn't technically need an EIN, but it is going to be beneficial to get an EIN. So a tax ID number or EIN is not required if you operate a sole proprietorship or a single member LLC. It's not required. But if this is the case, you could use your social security number, but we're going to discuss why that may not be the optimal thing for you to do as far as business is concerned. Because there are definitely benefits to getting an EIN number if you don't have to, but we will discuss that as I mentioned. So do I need an EIN? Again, not every business entity needs an EIN. A sole proprietorship does not need an EIN, and a single member LLC does not need an EIN, but an EIN will benefit you. So pay close attention to the things that I'm about to say moving forward. So who does need an EIN? And I am going to kind of read off a checklist. And if you fall into these categories, you do need an EIN. So do you have employees? You need an EIN. Do you operate as a corporation or a partnership? You need an EIN. Do you file an employment tax return, an excise tax return, or alcohol tax return? You need an EIN. And do you have a multiple member LLC? You will need an EIN. So those are just a few things. And if you fall into those categories, you definitely need an EIN. So I know many of our alumni businesses, I look at them every day, all day, pretty much. I am consumed with alumni stuff. That's the secret. But nonetheless, many of you guys fall underneath these categories, so you do need an EIN. So it's free, and we'll get into that. It's free, so please get an EIN, unless for some reason you really feel like you don't need it or it's not necessary. So let's get into a few benefits of an EIN, even if you're not required to get one. So this is going to be good. So generally speaking, having an EIN allows you to, as I mentioned earlier, separate your personal finances and your personal life from your business. what most of us would think of, not just in banking, but in life in general, as commingling. You want to separate those two. So an EIN will simplify accounting and bookkeeping, and will also limit liability in the case of a lawsuit, which none of us want to run into, and I hope none of us ever run into a lawsuit. But it will simplify accounting, bookkeeping, and will limit liability in the case that you do run into a lawsuit or any legal matters. So that's one benefit of an EIN. A lot of banks will allow you to open a business account without an EIN, but some have strict policies and will not allow you to open a business account without that EIN. Again, there's no need to go through the stresses of not being able to open a business account because you don't have an EIN, because the EIN is free and it's easy to apply for. So just go ahead, sign up for the EIN. And that way you can do many things that you wouldn't be able to do without that EIN. So let's keep rolling. So first benefit was separate your personal finances and your personal life from your business. The second is it gives you easier accessibility when it comes to opening a business bank account. So business credit. So at this point in most of our, I guess, business journeys, we're not hugely thinking about business credit, but some of us are. So if you want to start establishing business credit, having an EIN is a must. So you'll definitely need this to establish business credit. Your business obviously has a consumer credit report, just like your personal credit has a consumer credit report. So when applying for business credit, lenders will utilize your EIN to determine what you may or may not qualify for. Without that EIN, again, you are basically applying for credit through your personal finances and your personal consumer credit report. But we want to start to separate the two because that goes a long way. Again, we want to get out of the habit of using our personal finances for business entities. Let's separate those two. So next, this is it doesn't happen as often. Well, I hope it doesn't, but it is important. We want to avoid identity theft. Using our social security number puts us in harm's way as far as those identity thieves who want to utilize our social information. They will apply for they will file tax returns and obtain tax refunds using your social security number. That's like, say that 3 times fast, social security number, I got it. But nonetheless, like I said, they will file fraudulent tax returns to obtain tax refunds. So this is another reason to keep your social security number extremely private and get an EIN for your business. It's just another way, I can't reiterate this enough, to separate your personal from your business. And again, I said it once, I'm gonna say it again, and I'm sure I'll say it again. The EIN is free, it's easy to apply for. Let's separate our personal from our business. The EIN is a very vital component of doing that. Another thing, we probably hardly ever think about this. I actually, while doing research for this live, came across this, and as we plan for retirement, as small businesses are concerned, it is critical for small and medium businesses to plan for retirement. Excuse me, let me get some water. So with that being said, you can establish what's called a KEOG or a solo 401k retirement plan. But you can't do that without, guess what? An EIN. So you need that EIN. These retirement funds may be more beneficial tax-wise than a personal IRA, but definitely do your research. I'm not a retirement professional or specialist. definitely not a Keo specialist when it comes to retirement planning. But one thing you must do is definitely plan for retirement and start putting money aside, because a lot of us, yes, we are doing the thing that we love, and we may not actually physically stop doing it, but we definitely want to have money aside so that our quality of life is what we want it to be. So again, I'm not a retirement specialist. I am a alumni programming specialist, but do some research on that. So let me run over those benefits quickly one more time. EIN, it separates your personal life from your business life. Establishing a business bank account. A lot of banks will allow you to do it, but some have strict policies and they might not allow you to do it without that EIN. So setting up a bank account. Establishing business credit. It is a good thing to have an EIN. Otherwise, creditors and lenders are looking at your personal finances, which is fine if you want to go that route. But if you want to totally separate the two, grab that EIN. Again, in just a moment, we'll talk about how easy it is to apply for an EIN. Avoid identity theft. As we know, identity theft is prevalent in our personal lives, but we don't want them digging in our personal lives, but we definitely don't want them digging in our business lives. That's like a double whammy. You don't want that. So get that EIN and separate your social security number and keep that private. And last but not least, as far as one of the benefits, actually there are tons of benefits. These are just a few that I'm naming, but planning for retirement. When I retire, I might do it what Shayna likes to talk about, yacht life. I might be on a yacht when I retire. She's snapping and excited. That's our life right there. But plan for retirement. It's important. You know, we want y'all to have a quality of life. We do not want you to not plan, and when you are ready to settle down and really slow down and retire, you don't have any funds put aside. Trust me, plan, start that right now for sure. So let's get into something practical, which is going to be how to apply for an EIN. So Shayna is about to help me. She's going to share her screen and we are going to walk through, and this is going to be easy. There will, let me see, coming up now. There will be a point where we'll stop because it's going to ask for socials, but I'll just walk you through the last like 3 or 4 steps on how to do that. And I'm gonna put a link below, but I'll talk about that here shortly. So first, Shayna is past it, but I want you to go to Google and then type in apply for EIN. And she was there. So we're going to scroll down to how to apply for an EIN. Y'all, this is real easy, real easy.
The website is irs.gov.
Yep. And you click how to apply for EIN and it takes you to irs.gov. And once you do that, it will show you a few ways of how you can apply. Scroll down a little bit, Shayna. You can apply online. You can apply, I think, via mail, via fax, via phone, and that might have been it. Yeah. All right, perfect. So we'll click I guess the most efficient way and fastest way, and seems like the easiest way, is going to be up under apply online, click internet EIN application. If you haven't dealt with the IRS, if you call them, you'll probably be waiting until 2023. So just apply online. It's going to be the most efficient means of getting your EIN quickly. So on the first page, it'll discuss a few different steps. We'll go down and we'll click apply online now to begin the application. Yep. Apply online now, perfect. And then begin application. That's where we want to go, down right there at the bottom in that gray box. Yep. So at this point, we'll choose business type. Let's do limited liability corporation.
Guys, if you went to the academy, which you should have, this is gonna be week 5, the legal structures. So if you haven't already filed for your LLC, you'll click sole proprietor, but we're gonna act like you've already filed for that LLC and have an LLC number and all that stuff. Continue.
Yep. Perfect. So next, it will talk to you about a few things as far as what is an LLC and what is not an LLC. We can go ahead and hit continue.
One more thing, Jaron,
Yep.
under here is if you are not an LLC, but you want to be, then under the help topic, you can click, can I be an LLC? And it'll tell you how to file for the LLC. But again, we filed, we talked about that. Continue.
Hey, as y'all can see, this is so easy, so easy. So no reason why you shouldn't apply for an EIN unless you have some information pertaining to your business in which it is not necessary. So what we got next? Oh, members, guess one. If you want to put one, yeah. Yeah, we in Tennessee.
Right.
And then it'll have you continue, then confirm selection. And we, continue.
We're gonna click one, so we're gonna just add like start a new bit.
Oh, yep, there you go. So explain that screen, Shana.
Yeah, so it basically asks why you're applying for an EIN. Most of our entrepreneurs should click start a new business, but if you are more seasoned and for whatever reason you don't have an EIN, and you're going back, you hired employees. If you are trying to get like a loan or something, the bank is not requiring it. Because sometimes if you go from one bank account type to another, they will require that banking purposes. If you were a sole proprietor and now you're LLC, you're changing the organization. And then you purchase an active business, maybe you bought a business from somebody else and you made a new EIN because it is connected to your personal social security number. So click the reason why. And if you look over here, if you said, I do not see my reason why, or if it's more than one reason applies to you, you can click those, they'll give you some direction, but for all intents and purposes for our alumni, starting a new business is the right thing to select. I would press continue.
Perfect. So at this point in the process, it's about to have you do some authentication stuff, which I don't think we're gonna be able to move forward.
Just letting y'all know,
Yeah.
Jesus was the first, so he gonna.
So at this stage, it's gonna ask you to put in your information. It'll ask for your social security information. Obviously, if it's a fake social, yeah, or
Fake social ain't gonna work.
yeah, fake social would not work. It'll take you right there. But I'm going to tell you what you will see on the next couple of screens. So once you enter in your name, your social, it'll authenticate. You'll click continue. Then it will ask you to enter your address and phone number that you use for the business. So this is the address and phone number that you use for the business, not your personal, unless you use your, unless you are operating out of your home. Then you want to click continue. It'll give you some details. It will ask for your legal business name, your location, and when you started your LLC, your start date. Once you put in that information, click continue. Next, there will be a few more very simple questions to answer. This entire process is very simple. Click continue. It will ask you what type of business do you have, and it'll give you a drop down, whether retail, maybe nonprofit, consulting, whatever the case may be. It'll give you a ton of options. Just click what type of business you have, select continue. It will then ask you about some specifics as far as your business is concerned. Really self-explanatory on this screen. Select continue. We're almost done. At this point, you're done. I mean, that literally took, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes, 7 minutes, whatever it took. No time at all. But it'll ask, do you want to receive the letter online, or if you want it right now or you can, it'll ask if you want to receive it online, if you want it right now, or you can receive it by mail if you don't want to receive it right now. But one thing I am going to do, let me click over to a different screen. I am going to leave a link of a content creator from YouTube walking through these exact steps. The video is not even 7 minutes, so I know it won't take you that long to set up an EIN. She is from a different state, but it's exactly the same process. Exactly the same process. So I'll leave a link for that. I'm also going to leave a link for some frequently asked EIN questions. A link discussing, do you need an EIN? 9 benefits of getting an EIN. One link discussing when does a sole proprietor need an EIN, and another one discussing 10 reasons why you need an EIN. So we'll leave a few different links, and you'll be able to take a look at those and use them at your leisure. Okay, so guys, that pretty much wraps up our discussion on EINs. When watching this, please drop some comments below if there are some questions you have and you can't find the answers to them. I'll be more than happy to help you kind of dig through and do some research and find the information you need as far as EINs are concerned. But I think a lot of you have EINs, some of you don't. I don't know of a reason why you shouldn't get an EIN, but if, like I said, if you don't, if this doesn't pertain to you and you feel like you don't need one, hey, utilize your own discretion when it comes to that. Shayna, you got anything?
No, guys, thank you so much. Make sure you share this. File your EIN, let Jaron know if you have any questions. That's really gonna help you as you want to grow banking relationships, get loans, things like that. You'll need the EIN. So you wanna make sure that you have that ready. We're so grateful for you tuning in today, or if you're watching a replay. You got some comments, you got some thank yous, Jaron, so we appreciate you watching. And yeah, 7 minutes is all you need to file your EIN. And if you have any questions, refer to the links that Jaron's dropped in below.
All right, thank y'all. We will see you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye. I think you gotta end it on.
Oh, I have to end it. Say bye. No, you have to end it.
Okay, I will end it. We'll get it in 1 second.
Don't be ended, guys. Don't worry.
Should I leave the comments first though?
All
right.
Just in the Zoom.
Where? Oh, let me go back to that. Peace.
We're still here.